Okay, we're gonna wait at this picnic table for the trolley to show up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be your guide on all of this.
Okay, we haven't registered though.
It's very, very hot.
Very hot. I'm burning my butt.
I would think you'd like warm.
I do like
It's
warm.
better than being cold.
This is not warm. This is burning
Your
hot.
buns are baking.
And down to the crypt where the casket of James Garfield is laid. The building, of course, is a great Victorian-style building. They didn't know the word simplicity. More was better. And there's a combination of architecture here. We have Gothic, we have Romanesque, neoclassic, even some Byzantine thrown in. But put it all together, and it kind of works. Garfield was our 20th president. He was elected in 1880. He
5 days before he was assassinated, and they found it in some home somewhere, and I think it was January 2010. I thought maybe you knew if it
no,
was
I
paid
don't.
off.
I don't know anything about that. I'll have to look that up, though. That's interesting. Any other questions? Is what
There's
we call
Machiavelli.
the nautical side. Most of the families buried there had to do with.
That's right, you bought this from Ireland.
William Mack was a Clevelander. His ship went down off the coast of Cape Cod. He was lost. The ship was lost. He started the first, what they call the Chamber of Commerce in Cleveland.
SS Stone.
On the door side, up on the hill, you'll see the large. The kids. How many children know?
The obelisk is
Children?
John D. Rockefeller's
Okay, who was it?
monument. Right there.
Businessman. That's very good. We can stop. He was born upstate New York, but moved here as a teenager. Lived in Strongsville. His looks like a little pagoda. That's the Lehman family marker. That was originally on Public Square. It was the first stone house built on Public Square, and they were torn down to put the Williamson building in, which was torn down to put the BP building in, which now has another name. But those pillars were across the front of the house, and the Lehmans wanted something from Euclid Avenue, and so they took the pillars off and turned it into a pagoda and had it for their family marker. Corrigan and McKinney. James Corrigan had a steel company in Cleveland. He hired Price McKinney to be his accountant. Okay, we'll wait until Taz gets our little stool down.
Those two aren't there anymore. Some people here are
From the front to the back.
All right.
From the front to the back. That's what she asked that you do.
1901. The entire interior of the chapel was designed by Tiffany Studios of New York. This is one of 4 chapels that Tiffany designed. This is probably the finest example of the 4. The exterior of the building was designed by a local architect firm by the name of Benson Puff. They also designed the West Side Market. They also designed the first building of the Cleveland Art Museum. They were all for the window. So the whole cost is around $240,000.
$15,000 for that window.
Mr. Wade founded Western Union Telegraph Company. They walked into one of the studios and they saw this window on display. They immediately fell in love with this window and wanted to buy it. Before it went to Paris, the Wade family owned it for $15,000 with the understanding the voyage of the Old Testament, this is the voyage of the New Testament. I'll briefly go through some of the symbolism of it. And again, what I want to point out that these are glass mosaics. These are all individual pieces of glass. Usually mosaic is a stone or a tile. So on the Old Testament side here, you have these 7 rowers here. They're referred to as the 7 pillars of wisdom. They're mentioned briefly in the book of Proverbs. And these are prophets from the Old Testament that wrote about the coming of a Messiah. They're rowing away from the death angel here. And if you notice about these figures, our words, these are referred to as cartouche, to know the Egyptian church. And the first one, we're looking here, and these are referred to as 7 gifts from the Holy Spirit. And they're representing the patron saints. These are the 4 saints of the British Isles. And we have St. James of Spain, Dennis of France, and Anthony of Italy. Right here we have an angel. She's referred to as time. If you notice, she's in the boat and she's steering them on their journey. She's part of the journey. He probably down here in the corner just put some light on it. You see the blue down there when we put light on it. That's much more good. Too much light fades. This is all natural light coming through, and it's a northern exposure. So if you had east and west sunlight, it'd be way too bright for it to come in. All the work up here, alabaster is a softer stone and allows the artist to carve. And then Tiffany knew that the Wade family could well afford electricity. So when this was dedicated in 1901, this was the original lighting. The pews that you're sitting in are cedar of Lebanon, which is a very old and rare wood. So he took the waves all the way around the room. If you notice, all the way around the floor are the waves. And the blue and the green are glass, just as they are on the wall. And then this pattern here, this is an old Egyptian pattern. It's called Good Journey. And if you notice, there's no beginning or ending to the pattern. Tiffany also had the pews set against the wall. He wanted you, as you hear this in New York, put on the Erie Canal. He thought that was the safest way of getting the materials down here, and then assemble the doors.
Okay, this is a bronze door. These hinges have never been lubricated, according to the guy. Hey, I know you guys.
How do you see the photos you took?
Never mind.
And there's a switch up here. I just wanted to say there's a space for 96 bodies in the back there.
Yeah,
They don't use it anymore, but back before they could dig in the hard frozen ground, they used to store them back there until spring and then bury them.
Goes underground and empties into Lake Erie. Because it's spring fed, we have a lot of migrating birds, animals, and so on. The lake on the door side is the Dempsey Lake. That is the runoff from Cleveland Heights into the Dugway Creek, and it's not quite as nice. The water's not quite as good as the Untouchable. At one time, he was the safety director in Cleveland after he left the FBI and the Treasury Department. He was a T-man, the Treasury Department, and after he did all the busting up. He was a shortstop for the Cleveland Indians in the 1920 team. They were playing the New York Yankees in the old Polo Grounds. It's before Yankee Stadium. Jimmy Walker of New York came in. He had a huge, huge funeral there.
That bald monument was the writer of the My Irish Eyes Are Smiling song.
On the driver's side, down the street, is the two people. Over on the driver's side is a monument that says Devereaux. He was a steel man, but he's also, a side bit, you remember the painting, The Spirit of 76? We've got the man with the rag around his head and so on, and the little drummer boy. Well, that's Henry Devereaux. He posed as the little drummer boy. He was a millionaire, of course, but that's just a side thing. He was orphaned at the age of 12 and then went to work in a lumber yard and then as a brickmaker. He was working from age 12 on. He was also an itinerant portrait painter. When the telegraph came, Northeast Ohio Sewer District. It doesn't look, it looks pretty big because there's only probably 18 inches of water behind it at the moment. However, during the spring, that can go up to 15, 20 feet. I used to work at University Circle many, many years ago. And before this dam was built, the sewers tops would literally be burst out with the water rushing down. The hospitals, the museums down there, it was really a terrible situation. The angel on the marker, that's a man by the name of Haskell, and he invented who did some of the very first heart surgery, cardiac surgery at the Cleveland Clinic is there. We also have as you can see the map of Pennsylvania.
9/11 monument.
Also inside is a piece of metal that came from the Twin Towers.
Oh yeah, there it is. Why is that?
Now we're going down Million. He was a lawyer. He was also the lawyer for the Vanderbilt Railroad Empire. He was a judge here in Cleveland. His son was also a judge. That's a mausoleum, and the interior of that was also designed by Tiffany Brush, inventor of the arc lamp and the many different machines and so on. He, in 1879, who just recently passed away, the owner of the Yankees, he had an opportunity to buy the Indians, except Nick Maletti beat him out. And no one remembers Nick Maletti much anymore. No, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, they made their fortune in Great Lakes shipping, and I think they still have one ship still on the Great Lakes.
Don't push yourself, Anne. I get dizzy if I put too fast around me.
Alan.
Take your time. Hey, it's just one teal.
Is Grandma up here?
No, she went on that bottom level.
Fun.
You have the Gary piece glowing in the sun.
What's that tall tower?
Which one?
The one over there.
Think you're ready to pick that up?
Yeah, it did.
See all the way to the lake.
Is the light on?
What? Okay, what church is that?
Come over here in the early spring when there's no leaves. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the obelisk.
See the top of it? Yeah. See the train?
Where that's going.
Is that the highway, honey?
Let's go back to Al. And there's the view of Cleveland.
Okay, we're at the observation deck. Can you go up any higher?
No, unfortunately.
No, you cannot. Huh?
You should get a shot of that.
I was answering
but,
your questions.
Yeah. Well, the viewer can answer them as they watch this very informative video. All these years lived here, never been to this park. It's pretty interesting. I'm 54 years
Whoa.
old.
All of a sudden, we just got blasted by the light, the sunlight.
Next time we're gonna see this video.
Yeah.
I was trying to get downtown behind it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see the Gary building, this shiny roof.
Did you get that?
Yeah. It looks like a crumpled up piece of aluminum foil.
Yeah, giant.
Here, like you can grab it, grab a piece of gum and throw it.
Take that giant piece of aluminum and throw it at one of the buildings.
Because people are just dying to get in here.
Yeah. It's expensive to get in the cemetery.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably is. Yeah. With all the big names that are
At
buried
least
here.
5 figures.
There's a caution sign by Andy's knee.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is
Caution, keep off.
look at that.
Yeah, you can see the mortar needs to be replaced in here.
So it's with us an nice reason for him.
Yeah, and you keep going behind Grandpa and out of the picture.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
That's better. Okay, I'm turning this off now.
Okay.
Be careful on that street.
Going back down.
To the rotunda.
So you can go up, but it's closed.
Get a shot of these stairs.
When you look down, come on, don't go around on the stairs. Go up or go down.
South. I'm looking southeast right now.
And the ceiling.
Yep.
I wonder if that's gold leaf. Probably is.
Now I'm looking southwest.
So how tall would you say that statue is? How tall is that statue? 16 feet? 60. Really? It's life size. He looks bigger than life size. The person himself. So it's just life size, it's not larger than life.
He looks actually a bit large.
I think it's larger than life.
It's hard to tell.
Where's Grandma? Well, here I am standing in front of a statue likeness of President Garfield. Now that I'm at floor level, it looks a little bit bigger than life, at maybe 1.2 times the life size, a little bit bigger than life, but it's really cool after all these years of living in Cleveland, never coming here, but finally coming here. I've seen pictures before. It's a neat little day trip. I recommend it to anyone who has never been here to come and take a look. Very impressive gold leaf tile throughout. Very nice tribute to the president.
So I think a little nuance you just have to deal with.
Going down to the crypt. Okay. So I guess this is the only place in this country where you can get so close to the actual remains of a president. I did not know that. It smells kind of like BO down here. Sorry.
So, who's in the urns?
I don't know. I was wondering what those urns were about myself.
The urn on the right contains the ashes of Molly Garfield Stanley Brown. The other contains the ashes of Joseph Stanley Brown. Molly was the only living daughter of James and Lucretia Garfield. She was 14 years old at the time of the assassination.
Mr. President is in
Mr. President is in there.
What?
Petals from the wreath from Queen Victoria
Yes.
that were laid upon the coffin.
So what's happening? What are you up to, bro?
Yeah, Chinese.